In today's video, we're going to be going over 10 cars that are absolutely awesome to drive in GTA Online. Whether you like cars that are extremely easy to control or you like going really fast in a straight line, you're going to find something that you like on this list. Like and subscribe, let's go ahead and get started. At number 10, we have the Declassy Tampa GT for $1,311,000, and that's going to be the initial price, but of course it does have an HSW upgrade, which is going to run you up another $1,400,000. The top speed on the non-HSW version is just over 130 miles per hour, but with HSW, this thing has a top speed that is pretty insane. It's the third fastest car in the game. It will go 166 miles per hour once that HSW upgrade is applied to it. For being an old muscle car, it's actually shockingly good to drive. The handling is not great, but it could be significantly worse, all things considered, and being that this car has so much power, enough power to get across the map as fast as it does, for it to actually be able to turn two is kind of a blessing. The Tampa GT also has a good amount of customization options. It's based off of a Plymouth Belvedere from the 1960s, and I think it's a really awesome car. And you don't really see people talking about this one that much in online, despite the fact that it was released only 6 months ago. Kinda crazy if you ask me. But the Tampa GT is certainly an awesome car, and this is definitely one that you need to try in GTA Online. Next up, we have the brand new Pfister Astral for $1,475,500. This thing is going to have a top speed of 126 miles per hour, and that's without the HSW upgrade though. Now the HSW upgrade is going to cost you $1,500,000, but that's going to take the top speed up to a whopping 148.5 miles per hour, making this one of the top 20 fastest cars in the game. It's in the sports classic category, and it doesn't quite beat out the Turismo Classic with HSW, but it gets really close. But honestly, I think this thing handles better than the Turismo Classic, and that's saying something because I love the Turismo Classic. However, the Astral definitely doesn't look better than the Turismo Classic. I think it's got a pretty funky look to it. The headlights are pop-ups on this car, but they don't have a housing around them, which is a very odd look, but it's kind of cool in a weird way. Sort of looks like a frog. The rest of the customization isn't honestly that great on the Astral. I kind of wish it was a lot better, to be honest, and I expected better, but it is what it is. As far as driving this car goes, it's a blast. It has a oversteer bias, which is great. It's going to be a little bit drifty in those corners, but still very controllable for the average person. The speed creeps up on you pretty fast, especially with that HSW upgrade. And also considering that this thing is around $3 million with HSW and having a speed as fast as it is, it's a pretty good value for your money, at least in my opinion. Up next, we have an old one, but a good one. This is the Benefactor Shafter V12, and it's coming in at $116,000. So this is going to be a good budget-friendly option for those of you that are balling on a budget. It has a top speed of 126 miles per hour, making it the second fastest sedan in Grand Theft Auto Online, only behind the Annis Hardy. It has a little bit of customization, but it basically looks like a done-up version of the regular Benefactor Shafter that's existed in GTA Online since 2013. That being said, the V12 has only been in the game for a few years less than that. Probably the best thing about the Benefactor Shafter V12 is going to be the engine sound. It is absolutely crazy sounding. It is one of the best sounding cars in the entire game. Now, unfortunately, where the Benefactor Shafter V12 kind of lacks is in the handling department. It's not to say it's a bad handling car, it just definitely feels heavy, because it is. If you want a better handling version, the Benefactor Shafter LWB is better, but it does lose out on that top speed quite a lot, and it is a significantly slower vehicle. However, it does handle better, like I said. Overall, the Shafter V12 is definitely one I recommend picking out for only $116,000, so you really cannot go wrong with this thing. It is basically free, honestly. So this is definitely one I would recommend looking into if you never have before. Up next, we got the Pegassi Tempesta for $1,329,000. This used to be the fastest supercar in Grand Theft Auto Online all the way back in 2017. However, by today's standards, it's well out of the top 10, and with HSW in the game, it's just pushed it further down. However, that's not to say it's a bad car. It has a top speed of 121.5 miles per hour, it's got all-wheel drive, and it handles phenomenally well. Although by today's standards of downforce, it certainly doesn't have much, compared to things like the new Vapid FMJ Mark V, for example. The Tempesta sounds awesome, Customization wise, it's honestly pretty lacking, but this thing is about a driving experience, and you certainly will get a good driving experience with the Tempesta. The options that it does have do look really good, I would say. The only thing that's questionable is the stupid antenna that you can put on the top of it, which I don't know why you'd put that on anyways, but that's the only really dumb looking option. Other than that, the Tempesta is fantastic in pretty much every single way. It looks like a Lamborghini Huracan, and it sounds like one too. As far as a GTA Lamborghini goes, I think the Tempesta is certainly one of the best ones we've ever gotten. Next up, we have the Gratiatelli GTO for $1,965,000, and this thing is an absolute rocket ship. I made a short talking about this vehicle and how it's actually so much faster than it is claimed to be. Now, it is claimed to have a 128 mph top speed, however, the real top speed is significantly higher than that because this thing has advanced handling flags, and some of those make it go way faster than it should have because of bumps, aka curb boosting. If you hit any sort of change in elevation in the road surface in the GTO, your car is going to get propelled forward fast. Couple this with the all-wheel drive system that the car has and the decent handling that it has as well, and you've got a rocket ship on your hands. Customization wise, Rockstar did a phenomenal job with this car as well. There are so many cool options that you can pick and so many great combinations you can make. The fact this car is based off of a Ferrari 812 Superfast as well does not hurt, that's for sure. For $1,965,000, this car punches way above its weight. It is still one of the fastest sports cars in this game, despite the fact that it doesn't have HSW. Up next, we have the brand new Progen Luiva for $2,697,500. Now, this is the fastest non-HSW supercar in Grand Theft Auto Online now, with a top speed of 136 mph, which is pretty quick for a non-HSW car. Coupled with the fact that it's got an active rear spoiler that does actually work, unlike many other active rear spoiler cars in GTA, this thing is a rocket ship. It is rear-wheel drive, so it is going to be a little bit more challenging to drive than an all-wheel drive vehicle like the T20, for example, but the Luiva is certainly awesome. Customization wise, it's got a lot of great options, and my favorite one being the windshield that you can put on it to help make this thing look more like a McLaren GT instead of a McLaren Elva. It's got a good amount of customization, the liveries are sweet, it looks great, and that active rear spoiler that also has an air brake is just the cherry on top, really. Definitely need to have a Luiva. It is an expensive car, but honestly, it really is worth it. You definitely need to try this one out. Up next, we have the Benefactor Schlagen GT for $1,300,000, and this is one that's been out for quite some time now. And whenever I see people talking about some of the most fun cars to drive in GTA Online, this one's name usually comes up. It has a top speed of 125.5 mph, which is pretty good for the sports category. Pair this with the great acceleration and launch that it has for a rear-wheel drive car, it's pretty damn good. It's also got some really nice customization options, including liveries, spoilers, skirts, and bumpers, and many more options beyond that. It's also extremely realistic looking, taking a lot of inspiration from the Mercedes-AMG GTs. This car is also extremely easy to double clutch, as the community refers to it. That refers to spamming the handbrake in between gear changes, and it causes the car to have way more power than it should for a little while. On top of this, it handles great, but you can also drift it super easily with a few taps of the handbrake. The Schlagen GT is a fantastic car to drive around in GTA Online. You gotta try this one out if you never have before. Up next, we got the Grotti Turismo Omaggio for $2,845,000. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this one is a little bit on the expensive side, especially for the performance that you're getting. However, it is one of the best handling cars in all of GTA Online, to be completely honest. What I meant by a little bit of a ripoff though for performance is this thing only has a 122.5 mph top speed, which is very weak by today's standards. We talked about the Pegassi Tempesta, and it's got a 1 mph lower top speed than the Omaggio, but it released in 2017, so it's pretty bad. However, the Omaggio has some pretty good customization, although something else that it's lacking is a secondary color option, which does piss me off, to be honest, because with a secondary option, this thing could have been so much cooler. With that being said though, this is still one of the best cars to drive in this entire game. You're not going to notice the top speed all that much as long as you're driving in the right area, and the right area for the Omaggio is in the twisty corners in the hills of Los Santos. This thing is absolutely excellent for driving around on all those roads up near the observatory and everywhere up in there. This thing will shred the corners, it has so much grip, and when you want it to, you can get it to drift a little bit as well, and it will oversteer. The Imaggio is so well balanced and such a cool looking car, especially being based off the F8 Tributo Ferrari. This is definitely a car that I would highly recommend picking up. The Imaggio is truly fantastic. It is one of the best cars in this entire game when it comes to pure handling ability. Another vehicle you need to try though is the Bravado Banshee GTS for $105,000 initially, plus a $1,840,000 HSW upgrade. Now, that HSW upgrade will take the top speed from 120 miles per hour all the way up to 152.75 miles per hour, making it one of the top 10 fastest cars in the entire game, top speed wise. Back in 2020, Rockstar also added some customization and liveries for the Bravado Banshee as well, which is pretty cool. Some of the spoiler options that it has are pretty awesome, and the liveries are definitely a welcome addition. In the sports class, this thing was taken from pretty much dead last all the way up to one of the top 10 best cars in the game when it comes to circuit racing, so that's pretty cool. The Banshee definitely has a little bit of an oversteer bias, but it handles significantly better than I ever remember it handling back in 2013. It's an awesome car and it's awesome looking. I appreciate the Bravado Banshee a lot because it didn't just copy the Dodge Viper, similar to how the Bravado Banshee GTS has in recent times, but Rockstar actually did their own spin on the original Banshee, and I think it was really awesome. Definitely a super fun car to drive. Like I said, that oversteer bias is crazy. You can double clutch it, you can drift it, you can swing it. It is a super fun car to drive. And it's super fast in a straight line as well. What's not to like about the OG Bravado Banshee and its HSW upgrade? But of course, the number one car that you need to try in GTA Online, if you somehow haven't still, the Vapid FMJ Mark V that was released in the Mansions DLC. It is going to cost you a whopping $2,965,000 plus $1,950,000 for the HSW upgrade. So this is nearly a $5 million car, making it one of the most expensive supercars in GTA Online ever. However, what you're getting for your money is the number one supercar in GTA Online, and nothing even comes close. This thing has a top speed of 155.75 miles per hour, making it the fastest supercar in GTA Online top speed wise officially, but paired with the insane downforce that this car gets as well, this thing is going to light up any racetrack that you put it on, and nothing is going to be able to get close. It has so much downforce that you can take corners that you would have to brake on with literally any other car in the game, and you can do them at full throttle. It is insane how good this car is. It feels very light, paired with the high downforce and obviously the crazy top speed and acceleration. Nothing even comes close. It really is a one-of-a-kind vehicle, guys. It almost feels like an F1 car, but with a top speed 30 miles per hour higher than the F1 cars in GTA. Customization wise, it's also got quite a bit of stuff that you can do to it, which is always appreciated as well. But this is certainly one that everybody needs to try. Everybody's got to get an FMJ Mark V, and even if you don't have the HSW upgrade available on your platform, it is still going to be a fantastic car and still the best car on your platform for supercar racing. So there you have it, guys. Those are 10 cars that you need to try in GTA Online. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. Let me know what other top 10 style videos you want to see. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.